On the 2nd November 2018, after finishing my prayers at the Guanyin Study Center, Guanyin Bodhisattva communicated with me telepathically. I have ordered a Dharma protector to take you to the underworld tonight. There are matters regarding Guanyin Siddha to be dealt with. While sleeping that night, I felt that I was lighter than usual in the dream, and that my soul was escorted by a Dharma protector to the hall of the King of Hell in the underworld. After handing over a scroll to the king, I stood to the side. 2 offenders were kneeling on the ground, whose bodies were so charred that I couldn't tell their gender. On that day, the King of Hell looked very solemn and stern. He glared and pointed at the offender on the left and said, "When alive, this offender was ordained as a monk. His cultivation was not up to the mark, as he was of poor character and knew nothing about heaven and the underworld. As the King of Hell, I have heard the trials of humans in the underworld for nearly 1,000 years. Yet, I wouldn't dare to claim that I have a complete grasp of the universe or matters concerning heaven and the underworld. You were only a monk practicing for a few mere years. How much do you know about heaven and the underworld?" During my last visit to the underworld, the King of Hell in charge of Guanyin Siddha Door's matters in Country X was transferred from another hell, and he has been responsible for enforcing law for many years. The king continued, "As a Buddhist cultivator, it is ill-befitting of you to act so arrogantly. Guanyin Siddha Dharma Door is a Buddhist practice initiated by the Buddha of true Dharma light, Guanyin Bodhisattva. The Bodhisattva has assigned her disciple to the human world to save sentient beings who have affinities with her Dharma Door. Her disciple Jun Hong Lu has been preserving and sustaining the Bodhisattva's vow to spread her message of compassion. Even if you deluded mortals are blinded by ignorance, you shouldn't have undermined the Dharma Door and destroyed the wisdom life of millions of fellow Buddhists. Guanyin Bodhisattva shows you mercy, but you should be responsible for your own karma in heaven and in the world. Though you have cultivated for years and carried out an in-depth study of Buddhist scriptures, the profoundness of Buddha Dharma and its practices are not what you human beings can fathom. Forget it. I don't wish to say anything more. Being a Buddhist monk, why didn't you observe the Buddhist precepts? Using Buddhism as a front, what have you done behind people's backs? You donned the robe of a Buddhist monk, but what you did brought disgrace to Buddhism. You unlawfully embezzled money donated by the Buddhists. The precepts you violated not only fall within the 5 great misdeeds: patricide, matricide, killing an unhat, shedding the Buddha's blood, and causing a schism in the monastic community, but also the 4 great prohibitions: deeds of killing, stealing, sexual misconduct, and lying. Upon your death, you were sent to the hell of burning flame to experience the agony of being burnt every day. Those flames were created by the desires of your mind. In light of your merits and virtues, accumulated by reciting sutras and performing chanting rituals for the deceased, you will be reborn in the human realm after your punishment is over." Next, the King of Hell pointed at the offender on the right and reprimanded him. "When you were alive, you had a colleague who practiced Guanyin Siddha. Your ignorance of Buddhist precepts was self-explanatory, but you also committed many deeds of verbal misconduct, and you hindered Guanyin Siddha practitioners from propagating Buddhism. Don't you realize that you are guilty of all kinds of evil? You didn't perform good deeds when you were alive. On top of that, you indulged in whoring, gambling, and drinking. After you were killed in a car accident, you were sent to the hell of burning flame. Because you were kind-hearted, and were willing to help others, and because you committed the crimes out of ignorance, you will be permitted to be reborn in the human realm after serving your time. The scroll in my hand demonstrates that the Guanyin Bodhisattva has mercy. That's why this heavenly child was assigned to deliver it to me, as it instructs me to show leniency towards both of you, and to allow this heavenly child to watch the trial, so that she may share it with humans, to caution them against creating evil karma. You are permitted to use this accrued merit to reduce your negative karma and be released from hell sooner. Soon after, the king of hell allowed me to return. I was enveloped in golden light, which brought me back to the human world. When I awoke, I was choked with emotions about sins I had witnessed. The underworld is very strict with those who defame the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Unlike the more lenient way, they deal with other offenders who are allowed to plead for leniency. As a result of this incident, I can't help but call forth a heartfelt feeling of appreciation and reverence for Guanyin Bodhisattva's compassion, which truly knows no bounds. I'm ashamed of myself for not cultivating well enough, as I still fret over trivial matters of this human world.